Hello again, Irish fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Basketball with Mike Bray. I'm Jack Nolan. And, Coach, your team went through a wide range of emotions this week, from really the shock of losing a tough one-point game to BC to all the smiles after the highest scoring output of the Mike Bray era against Detroit Mercy.
You know, the ups and downs of a college basketball season, we were really disappointed against BC. I think you have to give BC credit. I thought they really defended us in the first half. But then to bounce back and maybe found a little bit more of who we are offensively against Detroit.
So lots of highlights to show you, and we'll begin with Notre Dame's second ACC game of the season against Boston College right after this timeout. Inside Notre Dame Basketball is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Coca-Cola, Under Armour, Gatorade, Vivid Seats, Canon, and SiriusXM. The week began with your second ACC game of the season against a familiar opponent, Boston College. And after losing 13 in a row to you, it was clear the Eagles really wanted the game, and they played that way from the start.
They played great out of the gate. They were in a rhythm offensively. They played smaller without their big guy. They were hard to guard. But I thought where they bothered us was their pressure athletic defense. We had 11 turnovers in the first half, and I don't think we really ever survived.
And even with that, both teams shot the ball well early. Your guys hit 5 of their first 10 shots, including 2 threes. BC hit 6 of 9, including 2 threes. The difference was the Eagles continued to shoot the ball, and your guys did not.
Yeah, we hit that wall again, I thought. Again, we are getting pretty good looks when I go back and look at the film, but, we've got to step up and take them, I think, a little bit more confidently. We're still a little sheepish when a good shot comes up after 4 passes, and then we go 8 passes, and we don't get as good a shot. So there's where we're a work in progress.
You fell behind by as many as 12 in the first half, trailed by 10 at halftime, and you really mentioned the reason why. You turned it over 11 times, very uncharacteristic for your team. Why do you think that happened?
I want to give some credit to Boston College's defense, and I want to give a little bit of, blame on our overall focus. I'm not sure we were locked in like we needed to be for an important league game, and that starts with the leader. So I was very disappointed in me and my preparation of our group, and disappointed in our group as well.
Different team in the second half. You really started to shoot the ball, but BC kept shooting the ball. With 4:22 left, you're still down by 11, and then you go on a 13-3 run, and you almost got it to overtime.
Well, we couldn't guard them. We couldn't keep them out of the lane with their speed, so we went zone. We played our big guys and went zone, and it gave us a chance to get back in the game. And again, the DNA of this group, when you look at how we won the Toledo game and how we came back and had a chance to put this one into overtime, I love the character of the DNA, but when you're trying to dig out of an 11-point hole against an ACC team, I don't know if you really deserve to win after that.
I know he missed the free throw at the end of the game that could have helped you tie it, but TJ Gibbs played exceptional basketball, 22 points. From a leadership perspective, though, I thought it's the best job of leading he may have ever done for this team.
I agree, Jack. And, the young man that he is comes right up to me after the game. That's my fault. I can get out of here. If it wouldn't have been for TJ Gibbs, we'd have lost by 17. Demeanor was great. Production was great. We turned to him to handle the ball and be the point guard, and he was doing tough stuff. He was kind of setting the tone as a fighter coming back. I'm very pleased with how he's playing right now.
The Irish lose a tough one to Boston College, 73-72, but they don't have a lot of time to feel sorry for themselves because Detroit Mercy came to town on Tuesday night. All the highlights of that game are coming up right after this. After the tough loss to BC on Saturday, your guys got to spend a little intense time with Tony Rolinski in the weight room on Sunday, good practice Monday. You come out Tuesday, and your team scores the most points they've ever scored under you here at Notre Dame in a 40-minute game, 110 points. How'd that happen?
I hope we found a little bit offensively with the Detroit game, but certainly, we did something different on Sunday with Tony. I thought we needed to do something hard together and have him barking instead of me barking. And I thought it went really well. We had a really good tune-up. And then we got into that flow and we got good looks. I think the big difference, and I want to keep reminding our guys, we didn't turn shots down. We rose up and shot confidently, and that, especially our younger players, to step up, Dane and Nate, and take them when you have them. Don't turn them down. And I think that is an area of growth still for us, but hopefully once they've seen some results from the Detroit game, we'll be a little more aggressive in that department.
Did it help that it wasn't just the players in the weight room, the coaching staff?
We had everybody in there
too?
We had everybody in there. I'm still a little sore, Jack. I thought it was something we had to do together. And Tony is a master and knows our psyche. And I just didn't think we could achieve what I wanted to achieve on the court. We came back and tuned it up on the court here on Monday. We were moving, we were upbeat, and we got out of the gate against Detroit. And again, when you look at 33 assists and 23s in our assist to turnover, our efficiency is there. We're just going to have to make some more shots. I don't know if we're going to make 20 threes every game, but can we find a middle ground? Because if we can, I think we're in every game.
Both of those numbers tied school records, and really, those are the traits of Mike Brey basketball here at Notre Dame.
That is the number one thing in our culture. We have offensive efficiency view to stay alive, both in the Big East and hopefully back in the ACC as we climb back up the ladder. And then we've gone in and out of being good defensively, maybe not so good. This team is good defensively. But we've got to do it with efficiency on the offensive end, and there was the ultimate the other night. Can we build on it?
And we should point out that even with the shooting struggles your team has had early this year, going into the BC game, you led the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio. You still led coming out, and now you've increased that lead with the great performance.
It's amazing that the poor shooting numbers we had, we still led the nation. That's how good we were with the ball, and now the numbers are amazing. So, the challenge will be with UCLA against Power 5 bodies. Can we be good with the ball and rise up and move it? We have not done that yet, so that's our challenge on Saturday.
So many guys played well against Detroit. Mercer, you're going to talk about a bunch of them. TJ Gibbs got you going with a couple of threes in the first 2 minutes of the game. He finished with 18 points and a career-high 8 assists.
Well, he has been getting us started, and right now I just love how he's playing. He's letting the game come to him. We're finding him as a spot-up shooter. Our good passers find him. And unlike the first 2 weeks of practice, he was even turning shots down to throw it to another guy. He's shooting the basketball. He's always going to give you grit on the defensive end.
Big bounce-back game for Prentice Hub as well. A career-high 11 assists to go with 13 points. That's his first career double-double.
Well, he's just too good a player not to play well quickly after a tough week. He's too good. He's too much of a team guy. He was better with the basketball. His turnovers early in a game against Maryland and against BC, I think, get him less aggressive and less focused. Good with the ball early helps him.
Maybe the guy who's been most frustrated this year because he shot it so well last year, Nate Laszewski, but he had 14 points, including 4 threes, the first time he's hit more than 2 threes in a game this year.
Yeah, and it's, again, we talk about the law of averages. The law of averages on this young man, he has got a great stroke. Even with poor numbers, we ran an out-of-bounds under to put the game into overtime against Toledo. We have that much faith in his stroke, and his teammates have even more faith in his stroke. So he's got to rise up.
One of the keys to success is consistency, and a guy who is really starting to show that is Jajuan Durham. He had 16 points in this game, 9 rebounds, 5 block shots, and a steal, and he's starting to do that just about every night.
I'm very happy with where Jajuan is. It's been a long road through injuries and getting confident and getting stronger as a player. But here he is now, knowing who he keeps the game simple. He is giving us very solid stuff right now.
In a game of great individual performances, I think the best performance was turned in by Dane Goodwin. He comes into the game, 5 minutes into the game, 10 minutes later he has 11 points. He finishes with a career-high 27 points, and he only took 13 shots.
He is a gifted young man. And, when we got him, I just thought the sky was the limit. Like any young player, getting confident, feeling good about himself. I know he didn't feel good about how he competed on Saturday, and he's always been a competitor. Great bounce back, though, on Tuesday, and I want him to continue to be aggressive.
Goodwin had the most impressive individual performance, but maybe the most impressive thing about the game is you did it for 40 minutes and you never let up. And against an overmatched opponent, sometimes that's hard. You actually shot better in the second half from three, 59%. You shot 59% in both halves, and you only had 4 turnovers in the first half, 6 guys in double figures.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games we needed something after a very tough Maryland, BC week. And I give credit to the character of our group to come together, our leadership, to accept some responsibility individually and as a group of what we need to do better. Coaching staff, what we need to do better. We needed something like that to kind of get us going again.
So the Irish get back on the winning track with an impressive 110-71 win over Detroit Mercy. So impressive that we're going to take a behind-the-scenes closer look at the game right after this timeout. In pickup basketball, when 2 teams complete a game, the term run it back means those teams stay on the floor and they play again. Run it back is the theme for this year's Notre Dame men's basketball team. With all the players back from last year, they have a chance to run it back and improve on the struggles of last season. In accordance with the theme, each week, producer Indy Jackson puts together a run it back feature after each Notre Dame victory. Let's take a look at the Detroit Mercy edition of Run It Back.
The whole offense was flowing today. Guys were hitting shots, we're moving the ball. That's how we got to play.
Beautiful to watch. It is.
Catch anything.
I just knew that I had to jump because he threw it up there, so.
I guess our offense is awake. We can declare it officially awake. You can watch every edition of Run It Back after every Notre Dame victory this season on Twitter and UND.com. It's time now for the experts at TireRack.com question of the week for Coach Bray. And this week's question comes from Darren Mocht of Mishawaka. Coach, with all the experience even your youngest players got last year, do you coach them any differently this year?
I think you can coach them harder. I think you can demand more, whereas you were holding some hands last year, throwing them to the wolves of the ACC. I think you can demand and be harder on them, and I'm learning to do that with our sophomores.
When we come back, we will break down this week's Vivid Seats Performance of the Week. This week's Vivid Seats Performance of the Week was turned in by Dane Goodwin. What a game Dane had against Detroit Mercy. He scored a career-high 27 points on just 13 shots. He hit a career-high 5 threes. He dished out a career-high 4 assists, and he grabbed a career-high tying 7 rebounds. A little chat that you had with Dane in your office on Monday following the Boston College game seems to have gone a long way to help him have this kind of performance.
Yeah, I know he was really disappointed about Saturday, and not points or production, but competitiveness. Dane Goodwin is a tough, competitive, edgy guy. And I brought him in and I just said, how can I help you? And he sat up in his chair, looked me right in the eye, said, you need to be on me more. I said, note taken. And so I think, I have to challenge him more on a daily basis and throughout games. And you're always learning I'm always searching for the button with each guy. And I thought that was very revealing. And I thought that was big of him now as more of a veteran guy to look me in the eye and go, be on top of me, challenge me, boys. Got you.
Didn't play that well against BC or Maryland for that matter, but he's had some big moments this year. He has shown improvements. In your mind, where has he made the biggest improvement this year?
I think he's actually talking more. He was one of the most silent, quiet young players we had. he still needs to improve in that area. Because if you don't talk to your teammates, you end up playing the game by yourself. You're not necessarily selfish, but you feel like you're on an island out there if you don't interact with your teammates. He's made strides there. And then he just can't turn down shots or opportunities to drive the ball after we move it a little bit. He's got to be a little more selfish. Growth of a young player. It's always interesting to watch.
Dane, of course, played a big role in Notre Dame tying the all-time school record for assists in a game with 33. As we go to break, here is a look at some of the best assists of the night for the Fighting Irish.
Hub with the basketball now to Gibbs. Gibbs deep three, left side. Got it. Gibbs with the basketball now. Alley-oop inside to Durham for the two-handed power slam. Now drives down the lane, shovels it to Mooney. 15-foot jumper, right baseline is good. To Goodwin, he turns, fires, and hits. So Dane Goodwin quickly gets into the books. Goodwin driving into the lane, out to Pfluger. Pfluger open three, right side, got it. Pfluger on over to Goodwin for three, got it. Pfluger driving down the lane, throws it right corner, Hub for three, got it. And then Goodwin steals the ball and saves it to Pfluger. Pfluger gives it back to Goodwin. Goodwin all the way to the glass, puts it up and in with his left hand. Throws it over to Leszewski for three, got it. Hub to Mooney, mid lane, left side. He's banging on Miller. His turnaround jumper's up and good. Now Goodwin takes the pass from Gibbs. Reverse layup up and good. Gibbs in the lane. Bounce pass, baseline, Mooney, two-handed jam. Nice pass by Gibbs. Now he throws to Goodwin for three, who knocks it down. Goodwin's in fuego. Baseline to Durham, who goes in strong for the one-handed tomahawk jam. Gibbs for three, got it. Gibbs is as dialed in as he's been all year. The Goodwin for three, and he knocks it down. Hub into the lane, bounce pass left side, Leszewski, he knocks down the three. Alley-oop inside for Durham. It's perfect. He grabs it with both hands and smashes it through the hoop. Left corner, it goes to Leszewski for three. Got it. To Jogo, to Hub, over to Mooney for three. Got it after great ball movement, 88-59. Mooney fakes the three, puts it on the floor. No look pass to Durham, who throws it off the glass and in. That was pretty. Elijah Morgan, the walk-on with the basketball. Alley-oop inside to Durham, and there is the school record tying 33rd assists.
A great opportunity waiting for you when UCLA comes to play you on this floor Saturday.
Huge opportunity for us. I went in after the Detroit game and tried to talk about the history, and TJ Gibbs interrupted me and said, Coach, we kind of owe them. They beat us at the buzzer in a grueling fashion last year, and so we do feel we owe them, but we got our hands full. A very gifted, good physical defensive group.
They're big.
They're big. They're strong. Can we rebound and keep them off the offensive board? It becomes hand-to-hand combat in a game like this. A little bit like some of those old Big East games. 15 feet it in. Can we win that battle?
And it is a renewal of one of the great rivalries in the history of college basketball. I know you and I grew up watching all those great teams with John Wooden on one side and Digger on the other. There will be a different atmosphere in the building on Saturday.
There will be. I mean, our fans remember this. That's why we've wanted to rotate back and play this series every couple years. We can't do it every year. We're in a league now. It's harder. We don't have the flexibility. But this game wakes up a lot of memories and wakes up a lot of great memories for me back when I was a young guy in D.C. watching these games.
Then after this game, one of the most important weeks of the year, exams. Then you play Indiana in Indianapolis, come back with Alabama A&M before you start the full part of your ACC schedule at Syracuse. What's the team need to do the next 3 weeks?
Well, the one thing we need to do is do a good job during exam week, because that's always very, very intense. But you've got two potential scalps you could put on your resume. The UCLA and Indiana here coming up quick. Our guys understand the importance of that. Great challenges. Give them a little break at Christmas. Come back, play Alabama A&M, and then here comes 18 league games, and I don't even want to think about that yet.
And, Coach, we're going to take a little break from this show. The next time that we sit in these chairs will be in the new year. Next week, Inside Notre Dame Football returns with our annual bowl game preview show. So until then, we thank you very much for watching. We'll have all the highlights of the 3 games we just talked about in that next show. We hope you have a great holiday. Thanks for watching, and go Irish.
Beat Iowa State.
Inside Notre Dame Basketball is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Coca-Cola, Under Armour, Gatorade, Vivid Seats, Canon, and SiriusXM.